So I finally watched the Trainwreck documentary on Netflix. And my question is, what did these promoters think was going to happen? Concert attendees weren't allowed to bring in water or any kind of beverages. The food was incredibly expensive. They were charging $4 just for a bottle of water. By day two, concert attendees were extremely dehydrated. They didn't have the security needed for a group of over 200,000 people. And the concert promoters, Michael Lang and John Skur, or Schur, however you say his name, they are chiefly to blame, in my opinion. They tried to play it off like none of it was a big deal. Everything was going fine. There wasn't that much bad things that happened. And they had the nerve to blame millennials for being quote unquote entitled. This coming from the boomers, probably the most entitled generation in American history. They said things like kids didn't want to go venture into the real world. They didn't want to take the responsibility of corporate life. No, they were just getting freaking ripped off. And they could see it. It was totally obvious that that was a shit show. And when you see the points of view from the employees that worked the event, they would say the same thing, that the kids were pissed off and that the total thing was a shit show. And what else was Michael Lang thinking when they hired the groups for the venue? Limp Bizkit and Korn, for example, they're not your traditional Woodstock, easygoing kinds of groups. This was all about money, especially from the point of view of John Schur. Now, having said all this, I don't think it was okay to turn to violence. I don't think it was okay to set a bunch of fires. But I think it was a pretty shitty idea on Michael Lang's part to give all the concert attendees candles like a moron. What did they think was going to happen when they gave over 200,000 concert attendees candles? So then a bunch of idiots just started setting fire to the place, started tearing down the art, and there was rapes. It was horrific. It was a recipe for disaster. It turned to a tribal Lord of the Flies atmosphere, and I think that was totally wrong and uncalled for, but I also blame the promoters as to why it happened in the first place. Overall, I enjoyed it for the most part. I thought it was an interesting documentary. What did you guys think of the Woodstock '99 documentary?